Find the derivative of f of x equals 3 cotangent x minus 7 sine x. Then evaluate f prime of pi over 2. F of x here is made up of two terms that are subtracting each other. 3 cotangent of x minus 7 sine of x. We can therefore take the derivative of each of the terms separately and subtract the results. So the derivative f prime of x equals to the 3 times the derivative of the cotangent of x, which is negative cosecant squared of x, times the 3 will give us a negative 3 cosecant squared of x. And then the negative 7 times the derivative of sine, which is positive cosine, times that negative 7 will give us a negative 7 cosine of x. There's our derivative, f prime of x. The next thing is to evaluate f prime of pi over 2, which means we need to plug a pi over 2 in for each of the x's. So we will have negative 3 cosecant squared of pi over 2 minus 7 cosine of pi over 2. Cosecant squared of pi over 2 means to evaluate the cosecant of pi over 2 first and then square the results. And then minus 7 cosine of pi over 2. Now we're going to evaluate each of those trig functions. The cosecant is 1 over the sine of pi over 2. The sine of pi over 2 is a 1, so 1 over 1, and then quantity squared. The cosine of pi over 2 is a 0. So we will have negative 3 times 1, and then 7 times 0 is a 0. Negative 3 times 1 gives us a negative 3.